The first Marvel Studios series to get a season 2 in the MCU is Loki, and there's been a lot of anticipation and hype in relation to where exactly the series is going to go after a stellar first season, and quite a few events in the MCU handling the multiverse. Well, without spoilers, let's talk about the first episode of Season 2. There is going to be, I think, a lot to say about the first episode, but unfortunately, you do have to get into spoilers. Without spoilers, I can talk about my general feelings. And before I forget, Loki Season 2 Episode 1 audio commentary will be coming tomorrow after we record it. And the first episode will be available to MetaHuman and Up members, so look out for that, and we're going to have a lot to say, trust me. Now that that's out of the way, so Loki's first episode of this season, to me, started off almost the same way I expected it to, almost 2 years ago when Season 1 ended. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad. It's going to depend on what you make of that and whether you find that, well, okay, that's risky or it's not. What I can say is that the best thing about the episode to me is the characters again. It's good to be back in this world, back with these characters, even though there's a couple twists on what you can expect. Again, I'm trying not to spoil anything here, but I think you know what direction they're going to go in, especially if you've seen any of the rumors or speculation or videos that we've put out or even talked about it on the podcast. The thing here is that you can tell that they gave critics the first 4 episodes and screened the first 2 because it's going to be a rather slow buildup towards the last 2 episodes. And again, I'm not faulting it because they already know what this is about. They know their groove. The cat is out of the bag with Kang. So now you gotta refocus the show in a different direction. It's not a whodunit, who's behind this. It's a we know whodunit and who's behind it. Now we gotta play on that from different angles. And I do appreciate it. So it's a little weird that I kind of was underwhelmed by this. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. Do not get me wrong. I am not saying it's bad. I'm saying that I was somewhat underwhelmed by it because there's specific things that I was hoping they would get into and they don't. And it looks like they're stalling for time. And to me, this feels like an artificial inflation of the 6 episodes where they know they got 6 and they can burn some time getting to episode 3 where they have to drop something and they can slow down a little more. And personally, for me, that just doesn't sit right when you can see that sometimes they're just stalling here or there, while other times things move so rapidly, you're like, maybe that should have slowed down for just a second to let that sink in a little more. But again, it is the design here, and we know that this also faced some of those post-pandemic issues and everything, so maybe that's all at fault here. I could definitely say that when it comes to comparing this to the first episode of Season 1, I don't think this is on par, but then again, that was super fresh and something completely different. We didn't know what we were getting into. Here, you kind of have an expectation. They play around with it a little bit, but ultimately, I think it's what you're expecting you're going to get with a few minor twists and turns here or there, which we'll talk about when we can talk about spoilers.